I feel like what we should do
okay,
is
yeah.
just like start talking,
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
we
we
should.
just like.
Yeah, maybe we should
I
just do
don't think
that.
we. I think that's like kind of funny.
Yeah, I guess we can
Sure.
just do that, and then you will just cut it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I can start with just the question.
Yeah.
Right. Hacks. So
Hello?
you moved from UK to no, from Hong Kong to UK, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mixed things up. Are there like big difference in like your life quality and stuff, or like just like your daily life that you've noticed, or just like
Okay. I mean, that's interesting because it's like I feel like if you ask this to like most people, they would say yes, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like for me, like the main thing I do is just like play Minecraft, and that doesn't really require going outside, so it's like mostly not a big difference. But I don't know. Like, okay, let me think about this. The big thing, like that I notice is I feel like for me it's all like the small nuisances that I deal with every day that like stick out to me. Like it gets dark so quickly. That was the first thing. I walked home from school today and it was like it's so bad because school ends at like around 4 p.m. for me, and then but it gets dark at like 2 to 3 p.m. or something. It gets dark so early. Whereas in Hong Kong it was like always around 6 p.m. or something, and it was like kind of consistent. But it's just like it's so annoying. Like that's annoying. And also it's like way colder. Like I don't know. I've heard it gets like really hot as well in the UK during the summer as well. And that's like not something I'm really looking forward to. But I know it gets like super or well it has gotten like pretty cold, like way colder than I've ever been like used to. So that's like kind of a nuisance. But other than that, like if you're talking about like life stuff and like culture differences, it is like there is like some noticeable stuff, but I don't know. It's like for the most part, it hasn't been massive, I think. Like all of it is just like, I don't know. I've lived my life online for so much, and it's like most of the time I've been on like the English speaking side of the internet. So I know like I don't know, it's like I'm kind of already accustomed to like the culture and stuff, so I kind of just like get it. The okay, one thing that's like I know people talk about this a bunch as a bit, but it's like genuinely, what is British food? I've been here for so long, and I genuinely still cannot name like a single British food or anything. It's like I don't know. And also, okay, like the first week I was here, I remember like saying this, and it's gotten slightly better. But the first week I was here, I don't think I've ever eaten worse in like my entire life. Like the food here, like my uncle mainly cooked, and he's like lived in the UK for a long time. And I don't know if it's like he's just a bad cook or if he stayed here like too long, but he is not a good cook for the most part. And I ate so bad like the first week to a month I was here. That's like the main things I'd say about the UK so far. Oh, and also, okay, I mean, you asked about like life stuff, but like the big thing is like time zone difference, I think. Because that's like something I thought would be bigger than it was, to be honest. Back in Hong Kong, like, well, I'm mainly talking about this in regards to ranked and stuff. With ranked, I always thought my time zone wasn't bad. Like me and Mongi have roughly similar time zones. Well, back when I was in Asia, but like I thought my time zone was so bad. But now that I've moved, I've just realized that people just don't play ranked as much as I thought, even on like the supposed good time zones. Like I feel like the good time zones last longer, but it's still like not that great. It's cool though. I don't know, cause I mean it's nice, but it's also not nice. Cause I feel like a lot of the people I used to watch, like I can't really watch Fine or Silver, but like a lot of the NA people as much on this time slot. But I don't know, it's cool. I mean, like I'm starting to watch like more. Okay, I can't really think of examples, but I'm like watching more people who normally aren't live on like the Asia time slot or stuff. And that's like kind of cool. It's like it's changed a lot.
Interesting. I guess about the time zone, you moved right like in at the end of the last season, right? So
Yeah.
do you feel like if you actually stayed in Hong Kong for playoffs, do you think you had a better chances of winning, or did it like not matter, or did it
I'm
actually
gonna be
improve?
honest. I don't know. I can't tell because this season playoffs. I don't know because everyone. It's like this just makes sense, right? The more you play playoffs, the less nervous you'll get. Like that just makes sense. Like I remember when I was like 11 or whenever Fortnite was like big or whatever. I played like I was so bad at Fortnite, but like I played because everyone else played, and I could never get my first win. For like the first 2-3 months I played, I was so dog shit because I had such a bad PC. Like genuinely, I would play my like. Or I didn't even have a PC. I had a laptop, and I'd play on 30 FPS, lowest graphic settings, and that was like my setup or whatever. And it's so impossible to win on those settings. And I remember like I don't know. It sounds so dumb, but genuinely, but like on the game where I got my first win, I think that's like one of the most like nervous feeling I've ever felt. And like after I won that game, it's like you still feel a bit of nerves like on your second and third. Like I never got good, but like I won more than once. But like you feel less nervous, but the first time it's like always so nervous. And everything in my life, I think it's like gradually scaled like that, where it's like the more you do it, the less nervous you get because you're just like used to it. And it's like the win means less, I guess. Because like right now,
Yeah,
I
you've
don't
done
know,
it
maybe
before.
you've seen this. You've seen this on stream where it's like I've been playing that Eternal Darkness map on Hollow Cube, and I get like pretty nervous on some of the parts. Like when I'm like the furthest I've ever been, I'll get nervous, I'll start shaking, like my hands feel more sweaty. But as soon as I beat the map, and if I ever like rerun it again, there'll just be like no nerves or whatever. And I feel like that's just so true for everyone, I think.
Mhm.
But the only thing where that hasn't held true has been like playoffs. It's held true for the first two. In season 3, I was really nervous. Season 4 got better, and then season 5, I don't know. That was probably the most nervous I've ever been. And then Niski tourney as well, I was so nervous. Like the pressure gets to me so much. And I thought it would get better, but I'm not sure what it is. Like I've thought about it, and it might just be like external pressure or like mental pressure on
Expectations
myself.
and
Yeah, expectations. Because it's like I don't know. I've talked about this before, but going into each playoffs, I always make a little story. Like okay, like I was walking home today, and I just thought of this. I'm gonna most likely, if I win my quarters match and Duke wins his quarters match this season, season 6, I will most likely have to play Dougal in semis because Loki's gonna beat him. They're gonna tie on face points at the end of the season, most likely, but Loki's gonna beat him on the tie break, and I'll have to face the second seed because I'm most likely gonna be third seed. So I'm gonna meet him in semis on our side of the bracket. And what I noticed was in season 4, after I lost to Priffin, I beat Priffin in season 4. In season 5, after I lost to Onko in season 4, I beat Onko in semis. And now it's season 6, and I lost to Dougal in finals. So hopefully, if the trend continues, I'll beat him in semis this season. And that's like, I don't know, that's like an example of like the little stories or whatever. And it's like last season, I think the one I had was I'm trying to remember what last season one was. That was the one. No, it's not that. Season 4. For season 4, the story I had was I was gonna beat every single previous winner because I beat Silver in round of 16. I beat Priffin in quarters, and then if I won my semis match, I would have faced Loki in grand finals, and I would have the chance to beat Loki and beat all the previous winners, seasons 1 through 3 and season 4. But I choked in season 4 and semis. Okay, your original question was on the time zone stuff. What I wanted to like, I kind of like deviated from that, but season 4 I think is a good example of like time zone stuff getting to me. I think because in each playoffs, I think I've experimented with different things. Like season 3 was my first one because I kind of just like wasn't really used to it. Like I played tourneys before playoffs. Like I played an MSM, MSL, like the Antoine tourney. I think I played. I mean, I played the one TRT that got canceled and like a few other small tourneys. And I guess ESI 3, but I don't. Was ESI 3 before playoffs? I think it was after, maybe.
no, it
I
was
don't
before.
fully. Was it before?
It's hard to tell actually. I remember it was in summer, I think.
Yeah, I think it was before because I think Loki won ESI or won playoffs 2 in the middle of ESI. I think so. I think it was before season 3. And I played ESI and I did well in that. But like playoffs was the first like big tourney, I'd say. It's like single elimination. Like ESI was double elimination. So I wouldn't say the pressure was the same. But like, I don't know. I think in season 4, that's like when time zone really got to me. Because what I was trying out in season 4 was drinking like a bunch of caffeine. Like I never tried energy drinks before, so it was probably like partly bad because I wasn't adapted to them. Like I wasn't caffeine adapted, but I was trying it out, and I'm gonna be honest, it like really did not do anything for me at all. Like I drunk it against Silver and Priffin, and it's like I don't think I played worse, and I feel like I was focused, but I don't think I became more focused because of it. But in my semis match, I felt so sick. Like that was the one. I mean, semis, I had the same thing when in season 3 when I played against Priffin in the finals. I just felt like so bad because you play on Saturday and Sunday. You play quarters on Saturday and then semifinals, finals. So you have back-to-back days of bad sleep, and that just gets to me so badly. I think because like one day of playing on bad sleep is honestly not that bad because you'll just like the next day if you just sleep well, then you kind of just like sleep through it, I guess, and it's not that big of a deal. But like 2 back-to-back days, I think definitely like messes with my focus and stuff. And I don't know. I don't know if it was just the energy drinks or like low sleep, but on that semifinals match against Onko, I felt so sick. Like I don't think it showed in my gameplay. Like I watched the VOD back, but like I remember as I played that, I feel like my gameplay never felt worse. And I honestly almost won that match. I went up 2-0, but then I got reverse swept by having absurd chokes. I choked in season 3 or seed 3. I choked in seed or I don't remember what the choke in seed 3 was, but seed 4 was like I was so far ahead. Oh, I choked 0 in seed 3, and I choked
I think it
another
was just
0.
zeros all the time.
Yeah, and it's just like that broke my mental, I think. And then seed 5 Onko just played better, and I crashed on the overworld and stuff. Like that, I just felt so sick. Like maybe it's because of the energy drinks or whatever. Maybe it's because of just like poor sleep and the stress. But it's like that, in my opinion, is when sleep schedule got to me, and I was so excited to move to the UK because well for like or I was excited to play playoffs on a good time zone because I thought like in my head what I expected was I'm used to nerves now. I've done really well even with nerves. I made it to second and third in my first 2 playoffs. And I'll have a good time zone and I won't have to worry about like tiredness and stuff. But I don't know. It's like if I stayed, I'm not sure if I would have done better because there's so many unknown factors. Like maybe I'm just used to playing on low sleep and I'm in a more comfortable environment, like not playing from somewhere I'm not used to. But like that's maybe like a reason why it would be different. But I don't know. I think I just felt so nervous. I think regardless of where I was, like even if I was on Antarctica or whatever, I think I still would have felt like nervousness and stuff. Because it's just like all mental, I think. I think my mental going into it, I thought was better, but I think I just had way too much pressure on myself. Because I really wanted to win, I think. I don't remember exactly the reason, but I mean, I still do. Like this season, I'm still hoping for it. I'm trying to not to think about it as much, not put as much pressure on myself, but um, I still feel like so much pressure. Or like I felt so much pressure in season 5, and I still feel quite a bit today.
Yeah, something you mentioned is that like I feel like from now on it's just like, and it's just it makes sense that people just get better like every season, and it feels like every playoffs is the hardest. Like
yeah,
it doesn't matter like what changes the format and everything. It's just every playoffs is gonna be harder and harder, and it kind of also stresses me out.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to see because definitely the format now is way more anti-upset, I think. And I feel like it's way easier to have like a ranked era now. I mean, we kind of did with like I wouldn't really consider Loki winning in season 2 and season 4 an era, but like, I'd say like Feinberg is the closest person to having like an era in MCSR because he won like season 0, season 1, and he was by far the best. I think like his 80% win rate in season 1 or like whatever he had in season 0 is still like the highest ever that anyone has gotten in like a season since. That's like actually in 2K plus or whatever. But I don't know. I think this new format is definitely like it's way better for the higher seeds. Like we're way more likely to see just Duke Loki finals or like Duke Loki semis at the minimum. Basically, it feels basically guaranteed because there's no more upsets. Like we had like I upset Loki in season 3, but now that's not even gonna happen. Like upsets in quarters are so unlikely to happen because of seeding getting a pick advantage. So yeah, I mean the new format definitely is like the hardest, I'd say. Or not the format, but it's like every playoffs is still feeling like the hardest. Because there's so many people like getting good, I think. And MCSR, I wouldn't really call it a theory, but this is how I think of MCSR, like the evolution of strats and stuff. I consider it kind of like chess, not like 1-to-1, but in the sense that like I consider it a game where it's less won like over time, like over history, it's less won by creativity and more won by like not making mistakes and attrition. And like the analogy, or not really analogy, but the stat I always use for chess for this is like back in the day or whatever, it's like when you look at the World Chess Championship games, or just like you hear about people describing like GOAT players back in like 1800s chess or 1900s chess. It's like they always talk about the moves, and it's like this is so creative or whatever. Like when they talk about Mikhail Tal or whatever his name is, the guy from
Latvia.
Yeah, guy from Latvia. It's like how they describe his playstyle is like he brings you into a dark forest with a path, and the path is only wide enough for one person to get out. And that's like how he plays chess. And it's like people describe his games as like ultra creative and stuff. But now when you look at chess, it's like grandmasters draw 60% of games. It's like so attrition based. It's like engines have optimized the game so much, people know the perfect lines and stuff. And it's like, I'm not saying that's bad. It's just the game is so different and it's way less creative. Like most people, I think, would agree. That's like, there's way less moves you see that are like, wow. And I think Minecraft is kind of, or like MCSR has kind of followed in that vibe, I guess. Because back in season 0, season 1, season 2, like I'd really say people got to understand the game in like season 3 or 4. Because back then it's like you just see plays which is just like, wow, I never thought of that. I remember watching Silver doing his ranked commentaries in season 1. Like he only did 3 or 4, but I remember each and every one. I'd watch it when Silver was like top 2. Him and Feinberg were the best, and I'd always learn something. Like this is such a small thing, but like I remember him like talking about eating between axes, and it's like people just didn't think about basic optimizations like that. It's just like you overlap that small time for eating, and no one thought about that. And I remember like hearing that, and I was like, wow, that's like so revolutionary, even though that's like the most basic thing ever. Or like how you play shipwrecks and stuff. Like it's now kind of phased out now because people just know how to play shipwrecks properly. They get shears, they get
the blocks is the most
whatever.
important part about
Yeah,
it now.
getting blocks. And it's like, but back then it's like he would just always make iron pressure plate and like play wood from the shipwreck and swim and get that stuff. And it's like it was so interesting seeing how Silver played, because no one really knew how to play the game well and optimally. And everyone was just like still figuring out stuff. And it's like you'd win games. What would decide your win most of the time wasn't like consistency. It was just like, did you make the better play? Were your decisions better? But like you look at it now and it's like, I'd say it really got like this in season 3 or season 4, but now it's so optimization based. Mechanics matter more than ever. Like I'd still say macro decision making is king. Like if you have the best mechanics ever, but you have 1400 elo decision making, you're gonna be 1400 elo. But if you're like 2000 elo, but with like 1500 mechanics, you're gonna be like 2000 elo. But it's like I think mechanics now are just so much exponentially better, or they like boost you so much more because it's just so much more micro based. It's so much more optimization based. I've had seeds, like I played Loki, 30 games this season or something, and it's like we're so close in terms of head to head. And on linear seeds, I'm gonna be honest, like we probably have like at least 30% or 40% of the games we've played, like what it was decided by was maybe one mistake or something, or literally no mistakes and just mechanics difference, or like maybe one of us went left on terrain and he went right or something. It's so much more micro based now for a lot of Cs, and it's like I think that's I don't know, that's like how it's gone. It's kind of like a game based on the mistakes you or like the mistakes you don't make than the plays you make to win, I think. And it's like, I don't know, in my opinion, that makes the game like more boring, because I think it's so fun to like pull out some random ass creative play that just wins you the game, and it's like losing that is kind of sad. But I don't know, it's like it's good in its own way. I think that's just like how I view like MCSR and how it's changed over time. I'm not super sure if people agree, but I don't know. I think it's interesting.
I think I agree, and I feel like what matters more now is just like your current form. Like how much have you played recently? Because like the mechanics, I feel like it matters so much for that. Like you're doing like riskier strats with portals and everything. You just need to like practice them like every day, or else you will just forget. It doesn't matter how good your mechanics are in general. Just like doing something like double grab. Like a lot of people just start doing this because like it's free second. Like
Yeah. Oh, okay. This double grab reminds me of something. I mean, okay, Rox, you probably know more about this because you do a bunch of SSG stuff, but like, do people like even in SSG, people don't go for like always the mega optimized strats, right? Like there will be an element of consistency, right? I don't know if that's changed. Maybe that's changed.
It's definitely true, especially I mean, even on Vine Seed, where the main RNG you're playing for is the perch. I mean, that doesn't change with barter seeds, but yeah, I mean, you're just trying to grind out as many end enters as possible. I think a good example is like at the end of the Nether and Vine Seed, you need a bridge. Most people who are going like for actual end enters speed bridge like with sneaking, and very few people actually go for moonwalk for consistent end enters. A couple people do, but no one does god bridge, right? Right, it's moonwalk at the most, and it's for consistent end enters. You still want to prioritize consistency. No one actually goes for max portal. No one's grinded that for SSG. Dugal is doing that in ours to rank for some reason, but it's like consistency is still the most important. This is a, consistency based game for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think SSG is like in a lot of ways the pinnacle of mechanics. And even then it's like there's not always full skill expression. So in RSG it's just never going to be as skill expressed. And it's like this is kind of a different tangent, but like I don't know. I've thought about like why MCSR is not as big as it is. Because I've always thought that games, in order to be like big and like watched by a bunch of people, have to be like easy to understand. Like you can just watch it a bunch and learn it by osmosis. Like I think CS is a good example, like Counter-Strike, because you just watch like a game of Counter-Strike and you just fully understand it instantly. It's like, oh, the T's plant the bomb and the CTs defuse the bomb, and you have guns and you kill people. And it's like anyone over the age of 5 watching a CS game will get it, I think. And it's like most sports are like that as well. It's like they don't have super complicated rules. Like football is just kick the ball into the goal and stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I think that always made me think like, damn, MCSR is never going to be that big because it's just like the barrier to entry is so high. You have to learn like, I don't know. It's so hard to tell because like I haven't learned all the strats in so long or whatever. Like I've been playing for 4 years or something, so it's like hard to remember everything I went through. But just like watching new runners play, it's like damn, there's so much like small things that they just don't know, and it's like it just makes you realize how much like how big of a barrier to entry MCSR can be. But then like I don't know, I watched Worlds for League this year, and League is the most most like noob unfriendly game ever, I think. Like I probably watched like 10 hours of League, and that whole time I was trying to get it. I could get like general parts of a game, but it's like the fights or anything, I have no clue what's going on. It's just like colors on the screen. I just look at the health bars and it's like one person's low and I don't know why they're low. And it's just like, I don't know. It's so interesting to think about because it's like that just completely disproves like the idea the game needs to be like simple, like easy to understand, hard to master, because it's just like League is just hard to master, hard to understand, I think. So it's like, I don't know, that's made me think more about MCSR and its future, I think. Because it's, I don't know, it's so hard to tell.
Yeah, this is like kind of working backwards on what you said, but like about the mechanics and the decision making. It is still you just need a base like of decision making. Like if you need to do still the same decision as them to be still faster, on top of like having good mechanics. It's just like you still need to do that.
Yeah, okay. Now I've revised it. Okay, I remember why I brought up this tangent in the first place. It's like, okay, I think one of the big things holding MCSR back from like more people watching or whatever, or like it growing more, because I don't know. I've thought about this because MCSR, I'd say it's not the biggest speed game. Like SM64 probably beats it, right? Like in terms of viewership, I feel like a lot of like the big SM64 streamers are like get more viewers than like the big Minecraft streamers. Like I feel like, or like MCSR people, like Feinberg's probably our biggest, and then like I don't know, like Liam and Simply are like double or whatever for SM64. But I think Minecraft is like the biggest tourney speed game. Like I don't know, I guess the only tourneys SM64 really has is like BTRL stuff. But I don't know, Minecraft's unique because there's so many variations. It'd be cool to see more tourneys, I think. Because I feel like there's so much potential, but I don't know. It's just like hard to run stuff. Because like we have the classic like ranked, we have our BTRLs, but then we also have like the weird shit. Like ESI is so like different, but it's so fun. And then like most percent as well was super fun. And like lockout, I think there's so much more potential with Minecraft. And or it's like fraternities and stuff, and that's like so cool. But I feel like the biggest thing holding it back is like the fact it's not like there's no interactions between people. Like this kind of ties into the thing with chess as well. Like chess, I think has changed where it's like it's way more draw heavy, like it's way more engine based, but it's like the people still interact with each other, I think, and that like just the fundamental component of interaction makes the game so much more like complex, I think. With MCSR, it's just like you kind of just play in your own little vacuum, and that's like so different, I think. And it's like, I don't know, it's hard to like when I watch MCSR gameplay, it's like not that impressive, I think. Maybe I'm just like too used to it, but it's like, I don't know, when you watch like a montage or whatever for like any competitive game, you get to see like all the crazy plays or whatever, and it's like so mechanical and stuff. But it's like with Minecraft, it's like you're just playing in a vacuum, so most of the time, unless you're really behind, you're not going to change your playstyle and you're not going to do anything super mechanical. Like I'm thinking back on like other Minecraft stuff I did, like PvP and stuff, and it's like I wouldn't consider PvP. It is like mechanical, but it's definitely like way more flashy, I think. It's like I'd say this mechanic skill ceiling is both or like similar for both. Like I don't know, for Minecraft it's like crafting or whatever, but it's like PvP is way more flashy, I think. I just like it's so satisfying to see like a clean combo or something. And it's like the fact that it's an interaction makes it like so much more interesting, I think. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I kinda just yapped for like 10 minutes and I don't remember what my original point was, but I just wanted to say that.
No, it's all good.
No, it's a good point though. With sort of interaction is something that lacks in MCSR, and it's really different than almost any other competitive game where interaction is like the whole point.
Yeah.
There's also what you said about like why it's not as flashy. I think you just like it's hard to compare. Like in PvP, you just like you understand that like the person is just winning them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in MCSR, like oh they did a better pearl. They're 10 seconds faster now. But like why did that happen? It's so
Yeah.
hard to quantify like that.
Mm-hmm. But actually,
Yeah, Minecraft. Wait, sorry, you go, Rox.
well, I wanted to sort of ask you this question: how, like, in sort of relation to the skill ceiling, like, how do you think about the skill ceiling in Minecraft, in ranked, I guess specifically? Do you think you're close to it? Do you think anyone's close to it?
I mean, like this kind of ties into what I said earlier, but like me and Loki having perfect games and stuff. I think obviously the skill ceiling always changes because I don't know. Maybe one day someone finds a strat that's just better than Bastions or whatever, and there's like classic 3.0 or something, and it's just way better. But for the most part, I'd say we're pretty close with Bastions, and Bastions are mostly like the end game. We're pretty close, I'd say, because the only seeds, like people talk about linear seeds and like non-linear seeds, and it's like there's not really a clear definition, but I'd say linear seeds are just like ones where the fort visible and bastion are visible, and for those at least, it's definitely like solved, I think, because it's just like people know how to route a bastion now. People with like losing the least amount of time, and when games are played perfect, it's like I'd say that's peak skill ceiling. Obviously, there are still seeds you'll play where it can be confusing, and it's like I think what makes Minecraft still fresh, and it's like what makes it has the or gives it the chance of not ever being fully solved is it's an information game, I think. Like there are plays because with chess it's like I don't know what the right word is. It's not zero sum. It's like it's deterministic, I think. That might not be the right word, but it's like if you make e4 as your first move, it'll always be the same e4, right? There's no like bit flip or cosmic ray that'll make it go e5 or something, or like stuff like that, basically. But with Minecraft, I think it's like it's an information game where it's like sometimes you'll lose time to intentionally like gain more information that could save you the seed or win you the game later. Oh my god, okay, this ties back into what I was talking about earlier about like silly tourneys. No reset invitational Curry's tourney is so interesting. Because for the most part, people play the same, I'd say, as like ranked playstyle-ish. So it's like, I don't know, it's like you run the bastions the same way. It's the same bastion. It's not like the reset bastions are different. But I think like how I think about no reset is so different in terms of how I collect information. Because with ranked, you kind of manipulate the filter knowledge to a certain extent. But even then, in no reset, I think you just have a chance of getting bait treasures or whatever. You have the chance of getting treasured, and if you get treasured once, you can get treasured twice, 3 times, and then you just lose the seed, right? So I think it's way more important when your bastion's far to collect info way more, and you'll just like I'll just stop way more and use wide macro and just spin around so much more often, and like that's a difference I'd say in terms of skill ceiling because it's an information gap. I think that's what makes Minecraft so open ended because you can never play perfect because maybe you intentionally lose time or this is another thing as well that I've been thinking about recently. People for the most part are chill with leaving with 18 planks and stuff, but like I don't know. I think now people are considering getting more planks because of like crafting more beds for whether it's for ground zero and consistency or bow. Like people are crafting bow
Bone
and iron
sword,
sword.
yes. I do
Those two
9
things
logs now.
yeah, that's like completely changed how people think about well, at least how I think about the overworld. Maybe not other people, but because now it's like maybe I'll lose 3 or 4 seconds to okay, it was probably not 3 or 4 seconds, maybe it's like 1 or 2 seconds. But we've had games when the skill ceiling can be so close, especially on linear seeds. Um, it's just so close that that time can matter. And is it correct to get that 1 or 2 extra logs? Sometimes, like Iron Sword on Stray Seed can be like a 10-second time save. Or like Bow can just win you the game if Crossbow isn't fast enough or whatever. For your zero. So it's like stuff like that, I think. It's so hard to tell where on a certain seed it's the correct play, but not always. And now it's like you start balancing averages and stuff like that. And also we saw this in Niski tourney recently. Like it's obviously incorrect, but we saw Jay blind on one of the seeds. Like he just didn't have 10 obby, but he just blinded. And people just don't do that anymore because obviously it's so inconsistent. But like something RC players did, like Jay and Skycrab I noticed was they didn't get the backups in stables. And like I've had seeds where that's lost me the game, where I got the backups and I didn't get both ways, where I got the backups and I lost, and I didn't get the backups and lost. And it's like, is one correct or more correct than the other? Not necessarily. And it's all about just information and also just luck to a certain extent. So it's so hard to like gauge where the skill ceiling is, if that makes sense, because there's no correct way to play.
This is a great topic because I had this noted down, and this is like something I want to bring up that like there's probably gonna be like another leap in like development of the game where like we need to probably have like actual tools to like solve decision making like that. Like the example I wanted to bring up is double spawner. Like people just do different stuff on it. Like sometimes people blaze bed one, sometimes people just like overlap doing rest of the things, you know, like because we know all the like the formulas, right? We know how fast on average the spawns are gonna be, how much they will be, but like we just still do like random decisions on it, like, and there just should be like a nodes game. Like you should just know the answer. Like 58% of the time, it's better to do this, so we should always do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like similar with the backups, like you said. Like, is it like worth it most of the time, or is it not worth it most of the time? And that's like something that I feel like that needs to be solved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like it's hard to tell because there probably will be like some tool for that because I know Ninja Raid made like a woodlight solver or whatever, and that's how we found like the modern woodlight setup. So maybe someone will figure that out. I mean, it took forever for like the language thing to come out, like the best dev, the language optimizer that like I found Norwegian on, Silver found Frangian on, or like Danish and all those languages. So it's like it's definitely possible. It's probably just like a matter of time, but it's like kind of relating to double spawner. I think now it's just like playing for niche situations. I think skill ceiling wise, I think it's like the main things left to be solved are like double spawner like that and those niche situations, and also like micro bash and stuff probably, and also like overworlds. I think like temple is still so interesting to me. Like, how do you overlap stuff? Like, do you get wood, water? What's your line? How do you route stuff? Because that's like the main thing. When I was bad, like back in MSL or whatever, I was like so much worse than I am now. But what I would do was I would just pull up 5 or something VODs at the same time. I'd find like the 5 fastest end enters and like, or like the fastest 4 enter, and I'd put 5 VODs all at once and have them play. And the main thing I noticed was like, in theory, when you learn villages, it's just like you get food, you get water, you kill the golem, and it's just like it's so simple, I think. And most people that like learn the game still like think of structures like that, I think, which is fair enough, because like you shouldn't be thinking about all the permutations and like routing and stuff, because that's just like so overwhelming. But it's like at like the top level, like 2K Elo and stuff, I think even then we still haven't solved it. Like, how do you route stuff? Like, what food do you go for? Like, is carrots worth it here? How much time are you willing to lose for bread? Because it's like making G carrots loses you gold and stuff. It's like there's so many odds. There's so much stuff like that.
Yeah, playing odds is like a lot.
Yeah.
I was just having an argument about like a specific micro strat that like if it saves 1 second but has a 1% chance of failing and losing you 30 seconds, is it worth it? And it feels so easy to solve in theory, but in practice, it's just impossible to figure it out definitively.
Yeah, so many inputs go to that and as well.
Yeah, especially with like mechanics as well, I think. Okay, now I don't know. Okay, I was talking about this earlier a bit, but I'm so thankful that MCSR is like, I don't know, MCSR being bigger would be nice, because it's like, obviously, I don't know, it'd be nice if we could have like a billionaire sponsor all the playoffs or whatever, and then we just never have to get jobs or whatever. Boggy would have to get a job, I would have to get a job, and we can just play Minecraft forever. But it's like, I'm so thankful at the same time that we don't have that, because otherwise it'd just be mechanics race, like the mechanics weapon race would just be so absurd, I think. Because if you got everyone in the world to play MCSR, it's like the top 10 would all be like 3.75 Telebridge gods or whatever. Everyone would know how to drag click perfectly. Everyone would have the best mechanics ever, and it would just be like full 50-50 seeds. That I don't really have an expansion on this, but I just wanted to.
I feel like I can counter that with what you were talking about, the playoffs, like how much it is a mental game. Like, it's always going to be a human factor there, that you just get nervous. And like, sure, somebody you probably can like reach that high of a limit in like regular season, but like you still need to deal with nerfs in playoffs and stuff. So like the playstyle would just be, I feel like right now the playstyle in playoffs is more risky, and like you just go for fastest shots because you only play so many seasons. Like you don't have like infinite games to play in a season, right?
Yeah.
In the playoffs, but like here, in this situation, like I feel like playoffs, if it was that big, playoffs would be more conservative with like and safer with shots.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
speaking of playoffs, wait. Sorry, you finish.
No, you go.
Okay. Speaking of playoffs, Raul, do you ever think you're gonna win a playoffs? Do you want to answer?
I was talking about this. Who was it? I don't remember. I was talking with this. I think it was Andrew yesterday. I think like I have a chance. It's just like so many things need to line up. I think my best chance was so far in season 3 when I had to play Griffin semis, and like after that I played you at 4 a.m. Like you were just so tired. Like that's like my best chance. Like every other, like something needs to happen to the big 3, like you, Loki, and Dugal for me to be able to do something. Like I can upset as well. Like it's just so many things need to line up.
Yeah,
like,
I think it definitely is like possible, because like I don't know, Dugal is like the best, I think, like the best speedrunner. But even then, like we've seen him like crash out or whatever. Like Mongi beat him in season 4 in round of 16, and then he lost to Venfi in he lost to Griffin, but also like Venfi recently in like BO3 or whatever. So it's like it's definitely possible, I think. It's like maybe it's just like you're not necessarily outplaying him, and it is him like making mistakes and stuff. But I don't know.
That's what Final was also saying recently. Like he was looking at his like I think he was like really scared before he like started doing ranked again. He was really scared of Dugal, but then like now he has like a 13-14 record versus him, and it's just like you can just win seeds sometimes. This game is still like has so many odds and so much randomness. Like you can just win off of like small stuff if you reach the high enough of a ceiling of a base level of your gameplay. Like that's just gonna happen.
Okay, you talked about the mental stuff as well. How do you think your mental is for playoffs?
I think I just like it's similar to the previous one, where like I just like worry about it less. I think because I just remember how crushed I was when I was playing versus Beef Salad, the third place match. Like I was just like, because I was like, I was fully believing that I'm gonna win it. Like the thing just lined up for me. Like I didn't have to play Duke. Like it's just like, and then like I have to play you. Like I don't think I even care about winning that much. I just want to be in finals more than I want to be winning it. I don't know. It's just like feels like nicer to me. Like being top 2 is just like feels so much better than being top 4. You know. It's just like, and in the previous one, like it was me, Anchor Boy, and it was like Visible who was like really upset and who wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and it's I'm trying to do similar to that, just like putting less pressure on myself, and like it's still stakes. Like that's what I wanted to say earlier. That like why I think you got nervous. It's not only expectation, but it's just it is stakes. Like you don't have any stakes when you play a parkour map, you know. But like there are stakes when you play on playoffs. That's like so different. It's only not only just money, but like the perception of people, I think, and everything. Like sometimes it gets in my head a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think for me, it's like I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten like any of the big ticket items. Like I still haven't won my first tourney. Like for you, I don't know. It's like I think for me, like partly it is probably just me like thinking too much. I think the more you think about it, probably the more you feel like you should have reasons to win or you deserve it. I think, and that's like such a bad mindset. I think because like I don't know. Even in regular season, it's like I think it's so easy, no matter who you are, to always feel like you deserve it. Like even when I was like super inconsistent, it's like I would cope and say if I was more consistent, I would be rank 1 or whatever. But now that I'm more consistent, it's like, damn, if I wasn't a choker, now that I'd win a playoffs or stuff like that. And it's like the goalposts always move, I think. And it's like for me, I think I've been working a lot more on mental. Like obviously it's not great. Have you done the wait, Ra, have you done the personality test or whatever, like the big
No.
5 thing?
No, I haven't.
I did that. I saw Rocks did it, I think.
I did it, yeah.
I think we posted it and I did it recently, and it's like for me, I did like really bad on it's like the one that was like I don't remember what it was called. They all have like fancy names or whatever, but basically like the emotional stability one. Like that one, I feel like I got like a really bad percentile on that one. I think. And it's like on that one, I think it's like I don't know. I'm just like so likely to like panic and stuff, and it's like get in my head about stuff, and that's like definitely something I need to work on.
Yeah. Wait, there was something I wanted to say. What are you talking about? Like you said, the people have like can feel the reasons why they should have won. I feel like that also ties to like so much of decision making is just playing odds, and at the same time, it's just like it like depends on your play style. Like you feel like one decision is better, but like at the same time, they in very similar seeds, but like something slightly different, the both decision can work. You know what I mean? Like I feel like nobody. Well, sometimes people still do, but like most of the time, people don't do like outright wrong decision. They just do them slightly worse, or they execute them worse. So it gets to the point where like you feel like you just it's still a correct decision. It's just like it's not the seed for it. You know what I mean? And I feel like I was thinking that way a lot, and I just stopped. I tried to stop, and it's just like, yeah, on this seed this is better. On the other seed, the other one is better. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. I have a very good like anecdote from recently. It's like this kind of ties into tilt as well. It's like I think I've definitely like at some points I feel like my mental's been like good or whatever, but then like sometimes it like hasn't. Like I've done a lot. Like I've tried getting better sleep schedule and stuff, and I thought about it more. But it's like I don't know. Human emotions are like so confusing because it's like when you, well, at least for me, after a tilt session, it's like I'll look back on it and it's like okay, one thing first of all, it's like tilt makes me physically tired. It's like that's like I don't know. It seems so obvious, but like genuinely after like a tilt session, my head will just like hurt sometimes.
I have a
And that,
headache
like,
as well.
yeah, and that like sucks. And it's like, but then you also look back on it, and it's like your head is also like clear, where it's like, damn, why was I tilted? Like you just like remember the shit you said or whatever, or like why you were upset. And it's like, damn, that's so silly. Why did I do that or whatever? Okay, wait, I need to apologize to Tudo Rule. I just seen where I made a decision that I still believe was correct. But after that, I was really tilted and I called him a bad player. But that's not true. Tudo Rule is a good player. And I wanted to apologize because I don't think I did that yet. Sorry, Tudo Rule.
I definitely haven't done that before. I apologize to some people, but it's hard. There's so many.
No, you're like.
I recently
one of the
unbanned
people-
everyone, so just like if somebody hears this and you're still banned, just ask me, please. I will unban you.
Okay,
And
so this is. I don't know. It's good to talk to you about this because you're definitely like similar to me. I don't know how much you like want to talk about it, but it's like I feel like we both like get really in our heads about it, about like tilt, but like so does everyone. I feel like to some extent, but I feel like we're definitely like more like we're probably above the 50th percentile. I think.
yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to do better on this. I just like try to. This is not a good wording, like not care less, but like just like Andrew was. I remember we were seeing with Andrew yesterday, and he just kept saying, "This is just a game," and it's just like it's a meme,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, it's just true. Like it's just a game. It's just
No, it's actually so true. Yeah.
it's like such an easy thing to like just miss out on, and it's just like yeah. I think like I was just like thinking too much about myself and the game itself.
Yeah.
Too deep. There's like you just need to calm down sometimes and just keep playing it to just even like just trying to enjoy the game. Actually, like it's just not like it's like what you were saying as well, like about like no interactions. It's just like I should well what I'm trying to make myself is just like think about my gameplay. Like there is meta game in this game, but like it's just so vague though. Like sometimes like metagaming works and then the other matches you will just lose to it. So like I'm just trying to like focus on myself all the time. Like they enter faster, okay, I'll just look at the replay later. Like I should just still focus on the rest of the match, you know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I have this feeling very often, like I will lose 15 seconds in the bash and then like, oh, I lost because they will play perfect. But like
Yeah.
they will not play perfect. Like I can like not always, but like I can still bring it back. It's just like something that I've been trying to work on. It's just like really hard.
Yeah. Okay, okay. I also wanted to ask you guys this question because I put you guys in the same category where you guys, I don't know, would you say it's a genetic or like what is it? But I swear you guys have like I call it like the degen grind genetic, where it's like you guys are able to play for like 15, 16 hours in like a row. Like I can never do that. I think I've had one stream where I played for like 13 hours or whatever, or like maybe two. And like even then it wasn't always like ranked or whatever. Like I ate lunch, I ate dinner, and like I had to take breaks during that. Or it's like I was playing all portals or whatever, like super autopilot heavy. Like how do you guys play SSG or ranked or that stuff for like 15 hours, like something so focus heavy?
I don't know. I've recently haven't even been playing for long periods of time. It's just like ranked is especially hard because like I feel like I do have like a lot of emotional attachment to the games. You know what I mean? I used to grind a lot of RSG, and it's like really easy to detach yourself from a seed. You know what I mean? Like you will just roll another one, but like ranked, it's kind of also the same because you can just play another match, but it's like different though. Because like
Every match matters.
what ifs?
I've thought about this a little bit. I think it is a lot of it for me is like learned. Like I've just sort of always sort of just like to play video games for very long sessions. So I think part of it's that, but another part of it is just I sort of have kind of like the speedrunner mental more than like a general gamer mental, where as soon as I'm out of a seed or out of a match, it's just completely gone in my head. Like and it's kind of bad sometimes because in ranked, if I like die or make a major time loss, like I'm a minute behind on an overworld off not finding an enter, it's over for me. Like I don't care anymore. And I think it makes it a lot easier to play long sessions, but it's also not very good for performance. I've said this a lot, but I still think like, especially for like SSG or super focus heavy, like where you really have to lock in Ranked, I think, applies too, where like 2-3 hour sessions are probably optimal, with maybe like an hour break in between if you want to play for longer. Because yeah, you do want to be fully focused to have your maximum performance, because you do want to have maximum performance during every single match in an SSG. During every single run, you want to be optimal.
Yeah.
For sure. It's also like what I said about the emotional part of it. It's just like, even recently when I'm like trying to detach myself more from it, it's just like it piles up over the long session. And I think taking like
absolutely. Yeah.
even like, even if I'm not tilted, like I would have sessions where like, oh, like I would be positive, and then like at some point after like 4 hours, it's just like I started playing worse. And it's just like I don't lose focus even. Like I'm still just like super focused and I still want to win, but like I would just like start losing and focus a lot. And it's just like I feel like taking breaks is really good for that.
Yeah. This
Just
kind of
like
ties into
refresh
what you're
yourself.
saying. Mongi is a great speedrunner, but I mean, okay. I've been in BC with him a lot, and like something, if you watch the stream a lot as well, you'll notice this. You'll notice this. He has like this is one of his biggest weaknesses, I think. But it's like you can tell like tilt builds up in him, and he won't ever take a break. Like he
Yeah.
never ever takes a break, and it's like you can tell the tilt builds up, and it's like I think that's just like so bad for the second, because he plays for so long, and that just gets in your head so much. And it's like this kind of ties in as well to like Hilt like being so silly in hindsight, but it's like in hindsight, I guarantee Mongi isn't like, wow, I should have tilted more, right? Like he knows it was a bad idea, and he knows taking a break is like correct, but it's still like so hard to do it. To like detach yourself sometimes.
Yeah, also about the tilt, I feel like there is like, for me at least, there's two kinds. Like there's one that like, yeah, it piles up and it's just like you don't even feel like you're tilted, but like you start playing worse. But there's like there's that one which Mangi has a lot, where it's like you actually stop caring about winning. Like then if you actually stop caring about winning and you just you had this hacks as well, where I remember you just like you just like miscraft on the BT and you just like forfeit because like, oh, I want to play perfectly. Like no, you should be thinking about winning, not about playing perfectly. Like it's like so different. And Mangi has that a lot, where she's just like, oh yeah, I can't hit a 0, like I can't do anything. Like it's just like you shouldn't be thinking that way.
Yeah.
It is.
Breaks are great for that.
It is such a, like I sort of mentioned, like speedrunner versus sort of general gaming. Like when speedrunning, you only care about the run. But in ranked, it's like you do actually want to care about every single match. And it's such a different mindset. And I feel like because ranked is, you know, an extension of sort of Minecraft as a speedrun, a lot of the top players right now have the mental of the, like, they really only care about the one run. But it's that disconnect. Do you feel like you care more, like you're more of a speedrunner in that sense, or more of like a, you know, you can care about every single run hacks?
I mean, I say this as a bit, and it's like the bit is like RSG is a dead category. RSG doesn't matter. That stuff, and I hate on RSG players or whatever. Or it's like I don't know. It's like I kind of agree, or I don't know. Wait, let me think about this, because I played RSG before, and it's like I would say I definitely have that mindset where you care about the one run. Like I remember, like I started leaving on 5 rods. Like as soon as I saw, like I don't even remember who it was, maybe No Fear or whatever.
No
I
Fear
saw him do it
did
once.
that a lot.
Yeah, he did it like really early on. I saw him do it once, and I was like, "This is just correct. I'm gonna do this like every time I'm not on worldwide, or every time I'm like on not that fast
On the
run.
verge, like
Yeah, on like the verge, or even like not like maybe if I get the 1%, like the 0.1% luck, I'd go for 5 rods and stuff. And it's like I definitely had that mindset at one point in my life, or or like one point at when I like speedran or whatever. But now I think it's like I don't know. Maybe it's like all the RSG hating I've done, but I think the RSG part of me has like left. I think. I don't know. It's like I saw this tweet of which is like very unrelated, but I just wanted to bring it up. It's like when the Olympics were over, and it's like the nationalism leaving my body as soon as the Olympics are over, and it's like a gif of like a ghost like lifting out of someone laying down or something, and it's like that's what I feel like after I quit RSG. I think I don't even look at the timer and rank. Like I only check it after I kill the dragon. Like I just don't care about pace that much. There is like I don't know. When I think about like or when I had it in like season 3, season 4, where it's like I had a worse mental. Like mental definitely isn't perfect, but my mental was definitely worse back then. And it's like I have to play this perfectly. I don't think I was even thinking about RSG or like speedrunner mental. I think it was just like me coping or whatever, or just like being tilted.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
it does get really weird sometimes. There's something I wanted to tie to this conversation, but I can't remember.
Okay, here's a sort of a 2-in-1 thing. So a lot of people sort of they think of the top 3, right? Loki, Doog, Hacks, right? That's the top 3 in most people's minds. And I don't know. I was gonna ask. I was sort of thinking like, how does this affect your mental, like to have these expectations? But I think we kind of touched on that. What I also wanted to ask is how, like in Elo, that's usually true, right? You guys are usually the top 3 highest Elo. But do you think that Elo is sort of an accurate measure of skill for most people, or at what point do you think it starts to matter? And if not
Well,
Elo, then what? Is there an accurate measure
I'd
of skill?
say yes and no, because I've only really been. I got rank 1 my first time. Okay, well, this is a bit of a story, but
Okay.
okay, well, not really, but I peaked at number 2 in every single season until I got it. What season is this right now, Raul? Is this season 6?
6? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I peaked at number 2 in every single season. Up until season 5, I think. And I had like probably 5 or 6 rank 1 games that I all lost or like drew. And it's like for me, I haven't been like high elo for long. Like Doog and Loki have been like top of the leaderboard for basically the whole year. Like we've seen like other people get it. Like Vishud was ranked 1 for a bit, Beefsod, Perfin at the start of the year, Ral, and a few others, I think. But like for the most part, like this whole year, they've been like super, super dominant. But for me, it's like I only really got good. I got rank 1 for my first time in season 5, and then after that, I think I ended the season at like 15th or something. So I still wasn't fully consistent, but only like after playoffs, like before playoffs, I was still so inconsistent. Like if you look at my stats pre season 5 playoffs in like season 6, I think my win rate was still like dog shit. I was like 52% maybe, and my average was like 11xx, so like 1050. But like post playoffs, I don't know, a switch just flicked, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start winning now. And my average or my win rate has gone up to like 69%, and my average now is like 1009 or something. So it's like it's very, very recently where I say I've been like the big 3 of Elo or whatever. But like before that, would I say I was like bad or whatever? Like what did I get last season? Like 15th? Like was I a top 5th or was I like the 15th best? Like I wouldn't say so. I'd say I was like a bum. And it's like I think that's kind of evident in like my playoffs placements. Where it's like, well, I got second in season 3, and then third in season 4, and then second again in season 5. And that was like before I was consistent or whatever, or like now. And I don't know, it's also a bad look because now that it's like this is my peak form in terms of Evilo, like by far. The one tourney I've played in this form was Niski tournament, and I lost in the first round. So it's not really like a good look. That like Elo doesn't always correlate, I'd say, but I think Elo is like a good display of potential. I think because everyone knows like Dugal's also a good example of this because he was like he should have won a playoffs before like sooner than season 5. I think like he got first seed in season 4 and then lost him in round of 16 to Mongi. Like that is definitely an upset. And then in season 3, like Perfin was really good. That was like Perfin's peak form in season 3, I'd say. But like it was still a bit of an upset to see Perfin beat Dugal in season 3. Like he had a real shot of winning, I think. So it's like
Yeah.
Elo isn't always everything, I'd say. But it is like such a good display of potential because it's like when Dugal just is able to play well and it's like he's able to play like it's a regular season match, you get like a performance like how he played and like he was still nervous. Like I wouldn't say he was like playing completely as he would in regular season, but he definitely played like way better and close to like his skill ceiling. And also it's just like I don't know, it's just like potential and like kind of like how Rob talked about playing odds. It's like I think with Elo like when you have all other factors equal, and by all other factors I mean like if mental is equal, then elo is like a good predictor. I think like it's probably like the most reliable predictor we have on average.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like what I said earlier. I feel like it's a good measure of like recent form. Like if they actually play,
Yeah.
then it's a good measure of recent form, and also like it does mental matter so much for regular season. It's like, but it matters differently. Like you need to like be enduring in the regular season. I feel like because you need to play a lot matches because there's so much RNG in this game. Like sometimes you will just lose matches and you just can't win with your playstyle specifically. Like some seeds, like hacks, you probably have this like you can probably beat like me on every linear seed ever, but like then we will get like one where like we will just like fundamentally have different vision on a decision, and then like my decision will work out sometimes, your decision will work out sometimes, so it's just like very different in that term. So you need to be very enduring in my mind, and with playoffs it's like you need to just be good mentally in terms of like not getting nervous and just controlling yourself in that term. But elo
Yeah.
is just like, yeah, it feels like ranked is more like a ladder rather than like elo in chess, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I actually started thinking about this more when I saw, of all places, a suggestion in ranked chord. Let's see, I'm scrolling through. I don't quickly see it here, but basically the idea was that elo should sort of right now it's just like a sine wave for most people. They bounce up and down like 200, 300 elo pretty frequently. And the idea is that over more matches played, the sort of elo you gain or lose sort of diminishes over time. So elo can be more representative of skill, but at the high end, that's maybe not as true, is what I'm realizing. It is more, it's a good reflector of potential, but that's not exactly what
Yeah.
elo is in most other games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, what is elo in other games? I mean, it's like, isn't it like most other games like pros don't even play on like the ladder or whatever?
I mean, I think it just depends on the game. But the idea of elo, I think, is supposed to be that like you can use the elo scores of two players to directly calculate the probability of one of those players winning. And so, like, yeah, I just pulled up the Wikipedia page. A player whose rating is 100 points greater than their opponent's is expected to score 64%. Difference is 200 points. The expected score for the stronger player is 76%. And so, for that sort of to be accurate, the ELO rating system has to also like be accurate. And
It's so crazy though. Like,
Mhm.
imagine like being 2200 and you need to be 2100 64% of the time. This like feels just so hard, no?
No, I think you're right. And I think because of the very small player pool in ranked, like usually like it's like a Q triangle, it feels like half the time in top 50, where you don't really get a super accurate, like you can't get a super accurate rating when it's so few players, I feel like. Maybe that's not correct, but I don't really have in-depth knowledge of other games, I guess.
Also, like just anecdotally, like climbing for like elo world record, like pushing 2400 and now like pushing 2500. It's like I think it's so hard. Wait, never mind. Wait, I just zoned out. Wait, let me rethink what I was gonna say.
Oh, good.
Wait, what were we talking about? I actually just fully forgot. Sorry.
Elo reflecting skill probabilities.
Yeah. Okay, no, I remember now. Like when I'm going for elo world record and stuff, it's like it doesn't feel like obviously it depends like form day to day or whatever. But what I've noticed is the sessions where you have those big elo climbs, like the 10 win streaks, the 15 win streaks, like plus, like when you're gaining 100 elo at it in a day, when you're at like 2300 already, when you're trying to like beat low here, you're trying to get 2500, stuff like that. It's like most of the time, I would say my form is like relatively consistent, but I think what matters most is a combination of three things. You need obviously to be playing well on the day, like your decisions have to be on point. You have to be consistent where you're not making a lot of mistakes, but like most importantly, you have to be getting the luck or whatever, where your mistakes, if you do make them, don't get punished, even if they are like large or whatever. Because it's like, I feel like given a larger or mistakes or just like luck or whatever, because given a large enough sample size, there is just like mean reversion, right? Where it's like you will just get unlucky or whatever, or like because you can't say lucky forever or whatever. Like you can say, oh, I'm playing worse or whatever, but to a certain extent, it's just like your decisions aren't working as well, or it's like you maybe got one more stray, your spawner, like you went off spawner diff or whatever. And it's like given a large enough sample size, you won't always be on like the positive side of like the 50-50, and you will have worse luck than an opponent. And on like, but for those big elo streaks, it's just like I think how you calculate like your peak elo or like the elo you can reach is like your general skill level, and that's like your skill floor, I'd say, when you're playing like decently. But then when you have like the luck go right or whatever, that's like the additional that brings you to 2400 or 2450 or 2500. That's like the main difference. They're just probably like different for other games, because other games is probably like well, I feel like with other games, Minecraft is like such a short game. I think it's like, aren't CS matches like 50 minutes and like
Yeah, but you also have
yeah.
so many chances in a match. You have, well, 26 rounds now. It used to be 30, but like, and it all like changed together. But at the same time, you always have an opportunity, even like on the rounds where you don't have like worse economy and everything. In CS, you just always have an opportunity to like take a turn in a match. You know what I mean? But like in MCSR, it's like so linear. It's just like all depends on the timing, and you just like you can't just like force it. Like in CS, you can just force it. You can just like get a highlight, and that's it. You just like win the round, and that's it. But in MCSR, you can't like. Well, I guess you can sort of do that with end fights. Like if you're better with end fights, like you can sometimes just like win off of that, right? But
Yeah,
still,
but you still need a good edge.
yeah,
for
you
that.
need it to happen. Still, like it's not deterministic. Like you don't know if it's gonna be back 100 and they don't hit it, or if it will be just like an easy zero. Like you just don't know
Yeah.
that. And not everything is like in your hands. I feel like in MCSR, which is like why the enduring part is so important, because you need to like play so many matches like over the course of the season and be good at that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like very different because I don't know if we like said everything we wanted about this topic, but Hax, what would you say is your most joyful moment about MCSR? Do you have anything?
Most joyful?
That, yeah, or something memorable.
Oh, I mean, it's just like, I'm gonna be honest. When I started MCSR, like the most joyful moment in my head was like getting world record, I think. And it's like, I don't know. Okay, this is not joyful, but I'd say it's like the most nervous I've ever felt is well, there's like a few moments and it's like tied, I'd say, but it's like I'd say that is like kind of associated with the joy, because it's like there's the potential, I think, and it's like nerves because like this could be like really happy, I guess, if that makes sense. And it's like one of those was 646 end enter when I lost a world record to Perch. So it's like I think if I did get that, that'd be like up there 100%. And like, oh, I can't like really remember, but the only other time that like vividly comes to memory is like there's been other times, but like ESI 3, the final seed I had against Silver, like that was just such a good match. I think I remember like looking back now, it's just like that was still like probably one of the most fun tourney matches I've ever played. Like even though I lost, it was just so close. It was just such a good match. I loved playing that match, and that was like really really fun. But like in terms of like joy or whatever, honestly, it has to be like some of like the streams I've done. Like I like never thought I'd do like stream that much. I only streamed like, oh my god, this is like this is a silly story or whatever, but it's like the only reason I started streaming was because I didn't have a second monitor, and what I would do is I would put
Look at the timer.
yeah, I put my streamer on my laptop, and I couldn't see live split because I play on full screen or whatever. So I only streamed so I could look at my live split timer, and I always had like a 10-second delay or whatever.
That's what Crooks
So
did as well.
it was so dumb, yeah. That's why I started streaming, and like I remember like I wasn't even like starting to like I wasn't intending on streaming on mic. Like when I started streaming, I was like no mic like everyone else or whatever. But I remember like I think Cat Jam rated me or whatever, and it's like I said I unmuted or whatever, to like thank it or whatever, and I just kept it on or whatever, and that was like so much fun. I think I played like GeoGuessr with like Catjam and Angela or whatever, and that was like so fun. And I was like, fuck it, I'll stream with Mike more, I think. And I was like, that's why I started streaming with Mike. And it's like, I don't know, that was like, I'm so thankful I did that, because honestly, some of the most like fun MCSR memories I have are like stuff I did on stream, I think, or like not even like competitive stuff, like the 100 hardcore stream I did for 100, even though I choked, even though that was like something I'll never live down and I'll stick with me forever, and I should have just like I should have got water, I should have hit the one shot, whatever. That was so much fun. That was like one of the most fun streams ever. Some of the watch parties as well that I've done for playoffs, and like the Niski tourney one recently was super fun. There's like other stuff as well that I probably can't think of, but like a lot of the streaming stuff, I think like I wouldn't expect it like going into MCSR. Like I just thought like the happiest thing that'll probably ever happen is if I get world record. But now it's like I don't know. I don't care about world record as much anymore. It's probably just like I don't know. And I like playoffs would be really that make me happy because I've been working for that or like grinding quite a long time for that, and hopefully I get it. But I don't know. A lot of the as corny as it is, a lot of the streaming stuff I've done has been really fun.
Yeah, for me, I think it's also 100 hardcore, the final run. Dude, I've never been that nervous. I've never been that nervous in any tournament or ever. Like, and even like just having a lot of viewers, like. I remember, like, I would get Feinberg grade and I would just, like, not care. You know, like, it's like, it doesn't matter. But, like, that other feeling, like, the people just, like, actually gather to watch this one run is, like, so crazy. It's like, I was just, like, so scared of everything I do. I was so scared of everything I say. I've never felt that way.
Yeah.
What is it for you, Rox? Is it, can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead, guess.
Well, it would either be a Clockwork record or the wine seed something, right?
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, like the first thing that comes to mind for me is definitely my 54-second like 112 SSG time. It was world record at the time. It was like it's still. I think it's still the fastest end enter, and people have only beat it with faster like one shot setups. It's still just an insane end enter for what it is, and I don't know. Maybe Hanabi is going to beat it at some point, but maybe that. But then also just recently I got my 147 on Vine Seed, and that's like it's Vine Seed, so like there isn't any of the cope of like, oh, it's just RNG, it's just luck. Like no, I did rip a perch on a PB end enter, which is probably the luckiest anyone's gotten on Vine Seed. But 147 is just like fourth place on Vine Seed. It's the slowest 147, but it's my 147.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, do we have anything else? Hack, do you have anything else?
Yeah, anything you want to bring
up? Wait, have you guys gone through all your topics?
I think so.
Yeah,
well, there's one, but like we've covered partially in other.
Okay. Well, okay, this is kind of like something I wanted to like. This is kind of outside of MCSR or whatever, but like, do you guys do New Year's resolutions and stuff?
Sometimes.
Sometimes,
and if so, like, what are you gonna do? Or if you want to share.
Well, I don't think I want to share. It's just like I've been more cynical about it, and it's just like it's just gonna sound like bad. It's just like I don't think setting like concrete goals is good. Like I don't really like doing that. Like oh, I'm gonna like the people some do. Oh, I'm gonna get sub 7 stronghold. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna play other categories. I don't really like that. It's like I don't know. I would just feel pressured on myself and disappointed if I don't do it. And I was just like, just being better in general, doing better in life, like with everything. Is like
I kind of agree, but for me, like the reason why I brought this up was at the start of this year, what I wanted to do was I wanted to watch because I've watched like no movies in my life. I think like genuinely, if you count up like the number of movies I've watched in my life, it's probably like 20 or whatever. And it's like I don't know, I want to like watch more stuff because it's like I've been playing a lot of the New York Times like mini and the connections, and it's like so much of that is just like I remember this one vividly for some reason, and it was the purple on connections, and it was like biopics or whatever. And it's like if you just don't watch movies, that's impossible or whatever. But I don't know, stuff like that has like at the start of this year, one of my goals was I wanted to watch a movie or read a book for every week of the year. And I think like for in terms of books, I think I've read like a bunch recently. Like, I wanted to read more because as a kid, I read a bunch as a kid, and that was like a really good hobby, and I liked it. But like I just kind of stopped. I don't remember why, but I just like stopped.
Me too.
And I wanted to bring that back, and also like I just wanted to watch more movies, partly because like I don't know, it's just like a cool media form, I guess. Like I don't know, I've watched so much YouTube, and I don't know, it's like it's kind of boring as well. Like obviously there's so much, like it's never gonna run out, but I feel like I've completed like all the good videos on YouTube. Like that's what it felt like. So I don't know. I just want to watch other like I want to watch peak cinema and like good enjoyable stuff. And like that was my goal. And I think I probably watched like 10 movies this year and then read like 30 books, and I'm so far behind. I really wanted to finish it, but I probably can't. But this year, okay, I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to hold myself accountable. And um maybe like later in the year or something, or even like a month in, maybe someone in chat can bring this up and ask me how I'm doing on this. But I want to read, or I want to do this again, but this had actually completed, I think. I'm gonna go for because I think I started reading like really late. Like I only like picked up reading a bunch like halfway into the year, like when I moved, because when I moved I didn't have like internet or whatever for or I didn't have my PC. I had internet so I couldn't play Minecraft, so I didn't know what to do, so I just read a bunch and I got a bunch of books, and that like inspired me to read a bunch more. And I want to run this back because I think like reading I could probably carry like at least 30 or 40 this year, like 40 books or something. And I want to try and actually watch movies this year because I watched like I don't know. I'm too like this sounds really dumb considering I watched like some movies that like people consider like their favorites or whatever. Like when I ask people their favorite movie, it's like oh blah blah blah. This is like one of my favorite movies, and I watched like I got some recommendations from that. But I'm gonna be honest, like even compared to those movies, like the most enjoyable movie I watched was Despicable Me 4 this year. Like honestly, it's so dumb, but it's just like I don't know if it's like the Zuber brain or whatever, but it's just like it's so easy to watch, and it's just like it's just fun, and it's like not stressful because like most movies are like they're like serious, and it makes me stressed out, and I don't always want to feel stressed out, but it's like the Minions movie or like Despicable Me 4 was just like so easy to watch, and it was just like funny, and I didn't have to worry, and that was like my favorite movie of the year probably.
Interesting.
Wait,
I've
sorry,
been-
Rox.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't let you finish yours or say yours. Did you have any?
Oh, I mean, I was gonna say I've speedrun Minecraft a lot, but I've never like hard grinded anything other than SSG. So I guess it was for the next season, but I guess it sort of coincides with the New Year's where I'm just gonna actually improve at ranked and get to what I feel like is my potential. But that's kind of just a boring one. Like I have a lot of ideas for things to like do to improve, but that's I guess probably the closest thing I have to a New Year's resolution. But yeah, movies and like books, and just like
That's good.
that's a good one. That's I mean, it's just like
Movies and
Yeah.
also like books and gym. I feel like it's just good resolutions. Like working
Yeah.
out. It's just with books. I feel like I've been reading also more since this summer because I have like power cuts and I just like have nothing to do. And like there's like two things I've been doing. I've been learning Spanish and Portuguese and reading books. Hax, I wanted to ask. I remember you talking about this book on your stream when you were practicing 1.7. It was something about math, and I wanted to read that because I only
Yes.
I only read like fiction books, like literature, that kind of stuff. I've never read like non-fiction.
Okay. Yeah. This is the book that got me back into reading. A friend recommended this to me, and it was so good. If you have like even a vague interest in math, like I'm not a super big math guy. Like I'm decent at math in school, but it's like I wouldn't say like I couldn't do math as like a university subject or whatever. Like I don't like math that much, but it's like if you have even a vague interest in math, I think this is interesting, and it's just like good to read. It's Fermat's Last Theorem by Simon Singh, I think is the author. It's what it's on is the I don't know if it's the longest unsolved problem, but there was this guy, and he's basically like he's described as like the largest troll in math, basically. And he was reading like one of the big like ancient math textbooks or whatever, and he like made a bunch of notes in the margins or whatever, and he made a bunch of like in math like theories or whatever on like numbers and stuff are called like conjectures until they're proven, and once they're proven they're called a theorem. And this is the one, it's on all about this one conjecture he had that was the last to be proven. It took like 300 years to be proven, and what makes it like so confusing or like so shocking to mathematicians was like it's so simple. Like you show it to a 5-year-old. Like the guy who went on to solve it, I'm not gonna spoil, but like the guy who went on to solve it, like saw the problem and understood it, like the general idea behind it when he was like 5 years old, or like as a kid, basically. Like it was his childhood dream to solve it. And it's like the problem is everyone knows, like, you know, Pythagoras theorem, right? Like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Like the hypotenuse of the triangle. What it is Fermat's last theorem is a to the power n plus b to the power n does not equal c to the power n for n greater than 2. So anything like above Pythagoras' theorem, like anything like cubic, quartic, 5, 6, 7, like anything above that is impossible. And it's like what Fermat wrote in his margin of I think it's Arithmetica. That was the textbook or whatever. I have a beautiful proof for this theorem, but the margin is too tiny to contain it or whatever. And it's like, that was what he wrote. And for 300 years, it's like he supposedly had this proof that he just never wrote down and no one could figure out. And that was like it was just like the largest troll ever in math or whatever. And the entire book is just on like this, it's such a simple equation at face value, and it's like, why could the best mathematicians for 300 years not figure this out? And it's like it's all about that journey and like the evolution of math. And it was just like interesting, I think. Like it has a bit of math detail or whatever, but I think it's like quite a bit of history, I think. Like if you have an interest in history, it probably like itches that scratch, is what I'd say.
It reminded me how I used to just like always troll you with like fake YouTube links with like fake strats. I have this strat. Have you seen it? And then you just like you're getting bored.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful strat. I'm not gonna tell you. I remember. I think I did it once, and you just like kept asking me like for like 3 days. I said that I have a strat that I'm not gonna tell you, and you just kept asking me if it's real, but it's just not real.
Yeah, Hacks. I have a question.
God, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this one. This one is a good bit. It's such a good bit. I don't think Hax is even aware of it. Because you don't reach chat. But I've been doing this to people where I ping people and say I have a question and just like don't ask it. I just have it. That's all. That's all. I just have a question.
Wait, do you actually have a question, Rock? Or is that the
bit? Yes, I have a question. No, okay. I can't do this. No, I don't. It's a bit.
It's so hard to do in VC as well because in like chat I can just like tab out and just like not think about it. But it's so awkward and hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that you got me talking about books, I also have another book to recommend. If you're interested in reading more nonfiction, I'm reading this right now. I'm reading Chip War by Chris Miller, I think. And it's on like semiconductors or whatever. Because, you know, like, I don't know, it's all about like chips or whatever. Because it's like, I don't know, like it's in everything basically. Like your phone, your car, your refrigerator, like probably like your dog if you have a collar, or like a dog collar or whatever. Like it's so everywhere and it's ubiquitous. And it's like when you think about, I watched an interview with like the author or whatever, and it's like how he describes it is like when you think about nuclear bombs or whatever, it's like these are so hard to make, right? Like they're so big. But like from 1960 to now, it's like they haven't changed that much. It's like they haven't gotten that much more powerful. But with chips, it's like now it's like they're making the chips at so like such low cost and such small scale. Like I think it's like they're like working in nanometers now. Like it's smaller than like mitochondria. It's smaller than bacteria. It's like smaller than like COVID or whatever, like the coronavirus. It's like they're just carving. They're like using light. Like how you described it was, I mean, it's more of a history book, but I feel like how you describe the process is like so cool. It's like what they'll do in like foundries or whatever in like Taiwan, which is like the best like country at manufacturing these ships is they'll have like these giant machines, which are like it's like the most optimized thing in human history ever. Basically, they'll have like the world's flattest mirror, and then inside of this they'll also have like the world's most powerful laser, and then they'll have like a vacuum, like where there's like no air or whatever in between like no air or whatever. I forget the official science definition.
It's just
and like a pinball.
like molecules at all. Well,
No
there are molecules there, but it's like very small amount. Like even in space, there are molecules just like floating around, but it's just like very tiny.
Yeah, and they'll have like the vacuum inside the machine, and a tin ball will fall inside the machine, and then the laser will break the tin ball, and then because they broke it'll release like plasma by breaking the tin ball. That's like 40 times the temperature of the sun, or like the center of the sun, or the surface, I think. And then it's like because of at this temperature, it releases like a very specific ray of light that's like 12.5 nanometers or whatever, and that will like reflect off the flattest mirror onto like the chip to like carve the transistor or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, that's just like so cool. I heard that, I was like, damn, that's so interesting. And it's like a book about history, and it's like semiconductors and why they're so important, and it's interesting. It's a good nonfiction book. I'd recommend it.
Okay, thank you. You would
Awesome.
need to write it down.
Yeah, what's it called again?
Yeah, sure. Chip War by
Chip
Chris
War.
Miller, I think.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, books. Yeah, nonfiction. Like I used to read a lot of fiction books when I was when I had an attention span, and I really do want to get back into that. It is just, I don't know, reading is just such a useful skill. Being able to sit down and just, it's like such a good way to sort of ingest information compared to like watching
Yeah.
a YouTube video or even like taking a class. Like you can just read a book and know so much more after so much like relatively so little time.
Yeah, and it's also just fun. If you like,
Mhm.
I don't know, it's supposed to be fun at least. It's like taking a class is like chill or whatever, but sometimes it's like it's not always like self-directed, if that makes sense. So you're like
Yeah.
listening to some guy talk, but with a book, like, I don't know. I think an important thing when you're getting back into the habit of reading, what I'd recommend is know when to stop, I think. Because as a kid, I always had this where it's like with YouTube videos or like, oh my god, I remember watching like UHC series or whatever, or like seasons. And once I started, even if it was really boring, I'd always have to finish it. And I did the same thing with books. Even if I hated it, I'd always have to finish it. And it got me like so burnt out because like some books are just boring and you won't like every book. And I think that was part of it. Like that made me so burnt out. Like I tried to read some like really old books because people are like, I don't know, people always talk about like this is a great book from like the 1800s or whatever. Like it's a classic. But it's like a lot of those are like, it's like how they speak, or like it's not like eloquent. Like it was probably eloquent and like when Shakespeare wrote like Romeo and Juliet, it was like, wow, this is such a well told story. But nowadays, when you read like in like modern English, it's like it's so confusing and like the language doesn't like flow off the page as well. So it's like I don't know. That's something I think I'd recommend. Just like knowing when to stop, basically, and like yeah, this is boring. Go next.
Yeah, with books, I've heard this advice from, well, this is like a CS caster, and they said that like, because they have like a really tight schedule in CS where like there's always tournaments, they always fly around the world and stuff. And they did like one advice that for like younger people they have is just like try to slow down your life, and books are really great for that. Like just like you don't always need to rush everything, and it's just like with books you just sit down and everything just slows down, and it's really great.
Yeah.
Good advice for speedrunners.
Yeah, well, outside of the client, it's good. Okay. If we don't have anything else, we can just wrap it up, I guess. Hacks, anybody you wanted to see on the podcast? We want to hear about?
I don't know. I think Boggy would be good. Boggy would be funny. I don't know. It's like everyone you probably have like thought of or like asked. It's like I think Duke would be good. Honestly, Beef Salad would probably be good, or like V-Shred, because they like. I mean, V-Shred did one mic stream like after they won the ski tourney or whatever, and Beef Salad's been doing more mic. It'd be cool to hear from them because I've never really like heard them talk much, I guess.
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
don't know much about them as a personality, so that's actually a great suggestion, I think.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay,
That's probably
Rox, are you
it.
gonna do? Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
just
just I'm done
that-
yet.
that was
We don't
probably
need
the-
an outro.
Yeah, that was probably the last. It probably fades out from there.